What's up, everybody? It's Charlie, and I'm back. So today I want to talk about sex. I feel like sex is a topic that is really prevalent in our society, but we don't have a lot of really frank conversations about. I know in my own life, I grew up in a very sort of puritanistic Christian environment, and so I was definitely not encouraged to talk about sex, to look at sex, to look like I'm having sex, to look like I'm looking at having sex, any of those things. I was guaranteed to get pregnant from all of that. So I spent a lot of time sort of scared of the whole thing. And I would say even after I later decided to dig more into my sexual orientation and my gender identity, I still never really spent a lot of time digging into my personal sexuality. My personal sexuality in terms of what things I liked or didn't like, what about my body I liked or didn't like. I feel like that can also be hard for me as a non-binary person because sex is such a gendered space. There's so much pressure telling you what to do and what to be and what parts you should have and what they should look like and what their shape should be, or like, I don't know. I was having sex, but I didn't think critically about what it meant for me and what I was looking for from a sexual experience. Over the last few months, I decided to change that. So I have been on this journey of deconstructing and reconstructing my sexuality. And these are the top 4 things that I have learned. The first one is that self-exploration is key. First, for me to show up in my sexual relationships and for myself as a sexual being, I had to really get some sort of baseline for what I liked or what I didn't like, what things I was curious to try with a partner and what things I was just wanted to do by myself, what things I wanted to look at, how I wanted to feel, what things made me feel. I really had to learn my own body so that I could talk to other people about it from a place of strength, from a place of knowing myself. People try to paint this picture like it's only this one thing, but the truth is that we are all different. We don't all look the same. The interesting thing for me about sex as an extension of the beloved community is that inside sex, the rules of what it means to be seen, known, loved, and encouraged to live into your purpose can have such a wide variety. Dr. Kinsey, who invented the Kinsey scale to measure sexual orientation, found that there are a wide variety of things that humans are willing and able to do in sexual experiences. From there, my second point was to invest in mindfulness techniques. Mindfulness is the practice of checking in with your body at multiple stages along the way. Once I had gone through the self-exploration phase, I found that that didn't necessarily mean that things were going to be perfect right away. I still had to really get myself used to this new way of doing things. I had to check in with myself. I had to make sure that I was okay. I had to do deep breathing. I had to really stay whole and stay with myself and stay present in the moment. And that's not something that was always easy for me. This has been especially true as some of my preferences have changed with my transition. But meditation and finding ways to check in with your body and focus on what you're feeling and what you're experiencing versus the parts that are doing it. To think about just what feels good, focus on that feeling, and allow your mind to sort of go with it. So the third thing that I had to do from there was to work on decolonizing my mind and how I thought about sex. Like I mentioned before, I grew up in a very repressed Christian environment that did not encourage me to explore my sexuality or myself or anything like that. And so for me, I had to really deconstruct what I had learned And for me, I don't believe in changing things just for the sake of changing them. I wanted to update my mind and update my thoughts on sexuality based on the me now, based on my belief systems, based on my current values, my current judgments. And to that, in true Charlie fashion, I've been reading and researching and update the information that I'm processing when it comes to sex. The best thing I would recommend is there's a show on Netflix called Adam Ruins Everything, and he actually does an episode on sex. And it's a really good place to start if you're trying to decolonize yourself around this topic. But once I got to that point of reading and doing the research, the final stage and the fourth thing that I did to help my sexual health was to really focus on non-judgment. And that is both for myself and for my partners. I think that non-judgment is the greatest gift that you can give to your partners in a sexual experience, and the greatest thing that you can give to yourself. For me, I have struggled in areas of performance anxiety. I've struggled in areas of over-performance. I don't know. I've struggled in all of the ways that you can possibly struggle. But when I step back and I make the conscious decision not to judge myself or not to judge my partners in a sexual experience, it gives us all the space to show up as our whole selves. It ends up going a lot better for everyone involved. And like I always say, for everyone to be in a world where they're seen, known, loved, and encouraged to live into their purpose. And that's what I'm always about. So I hope that these 4 things helped you guys as you all go out there and unpack your own personal sexuality. I hope that you separate that from your gender and from your sexual orientation, and that it has its own place of pristine prominence in your life, and that it overall makes you better for it. Catch you guys later. Deuce.